So, oh yeah, were we recording already?
Yeah. But
Okay, cool.
It doesn't have to be official.
Right. No, I was just, just in case we seen. So, oh yeah, okay. So this is me and one of my friends were having a conversation, and I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this because it's an interesting thought, which is, so in the news, like, you know how they're like officially handing out indictments over like the Russia collusion stuff.
Yeah.
So like he's probably gonna have to testify at some point.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it.
And like, so I've been saying since the beginning, I don't think there's any way in hell that he's gonna finish out his term.
Right.
But so here's the interesting thing, the interesting question. Do you think that he'll drag it out until he finally gets impeached and kicked out of office, or do you think he'll resign? Because his ego will not allow either one to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if he actually gets voted out, then he got defeated. But if he resigns, then he's admitting defeat.
Right.
And that type of ego, like he can't allow that.
Right.
His ego won't allow it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been trying to figure that out too. What happens if he just like flees the country? Is there like going to be a worldwide manhunt?
Right.
For like a 72-year-old?
Yeah. That's a possibility.
That'd be kind of amazing.
Okay, you know what? I think I just figured it out. Okay, yeah. Here's what I think would happen. I don't think that he's gonna let the Dems actually defeat him. Right. By the way, he needs to stop using the word Dems in all caps.
Yeah.
Like on his Twitter. I mean,
come on, man.
So I don't
just one time, Democrats. Just once.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like I don't think that he'll allow it to be taken that far. What I think is probably the most likely. I think he'll resign, but I think he'll throw his entire administration under the bus and blame them.
Almost like a plea deal, but like
almost.
You know what I mean? Like he did this. Look how bad he was.
Yeah. I think that he will. He'd be more likely to resign, but he would admit no fault in anything, and he would blame it on his entire administration. Because because then that would force him to admit that he was being manipulated.
True, and he can't do that.
No way he can do that, because he's smarter than everybody.
He's at the highest IQ.
Yeah. I think actually that's probably what would happen. He'll just blame, because he's already been doing that. Like, how many people has he like fired or has resigned and then he blamed them? Yeah. like half his administration.
Fucking insane, man. Like, it's getting more and more just pure entertainment. Now I just can't believe, like, this is America. Americans, and myself included, are so, like, arrogant sometimes, and now we've elected this guy.
Yep. This is kind of like lately, because me and James were talking about this, it kind of reminded me of why I was such a huge wrestling fan when I was a kid. Because like, all of these fucking people are essentially like exaggerated wrestling characters.
They really are. It's just such a show.
And I forgot how much fun it can be to watch.
Fucking circus, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, remember how much we used to watch wrestling?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, James got a subscription to the WWE network.
Nice.
And, I gotta say, for a streaming service, it's probably, like, out of every streaming service, that's probably the most bang for your buck, because it's really? $10 a month. And they have, because WWE they own all the ECW, all the WCW.
Oh, wow.
So basically, any wrestling that's been on TV in the last, like, 30 years, they own. Right. So it had all of that. So, like, we've been watching a bunch of stuff.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, we've been watching all like the early '90s, like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man matches. It's
Yeah,
pretty fun.
Roddy
Like we got,
Piper.
yeah, oh yeah, every weekend we've just been getting out there really high or really hammered and just watching wrestling.
That's awesome.
And now that we're adults, when there's like one of the pay-per-views where we don't remember what happens, like we've been betting on it. So that's been a lot of fun
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure. Oh my god. Wait a minute. You bet the Rocky movie and you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight's 2020.
That I think is one of the most underrated movies of all time.
100%.
I don't know how many people haven't seen that movie, you know?
Oh yeah, my sister, she's a huge Norm Macdonald fan,
Yeah.
as she should be. And so I was telling her about that, and then, well, plus she likes Bob Saget a lot, and I'm like, yeah, he directed that. She's like,
Right.
she's like, wait, there is a Norm Macdonald movie where he's the star, and Bob Saget directed it. And she's like, I haven't heard of it. I'm like, yeah, that is a sin.
Right. I know. It's just like I feel like it should have been a classic, but no one's seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was such a fucking
It's a
good movie.
shame. We're talking, of course, about Dirty Work.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's just so many quotable segments in there for everyday life.
Like the whole thing. You know what I was thinking about at work the other day was like, yeah, it's a long story, and then Artie Lang's like, my dad boned his mom. Okay,
Right.
well, it's a short story.
That's like that. I feel like that's one of the most quotable parts of that movie.
Yeah.
It's such a short story.
Yeah, and then it's got Artie Lang too, which I didn't realize. Like the older I got, when I started watching more stand-up comedy, like that, he's one of the fucking funniest.
Yeah,
Like that dude is so good.
it's his style. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He's just that like almost drunk, don't give a shit attitude almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Just his deliveries with that is so amazing.
Yeah, because he started out as just some New York construction guy, and like I feel like he's never really shed that attitude, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, still just that guy.
Yeah, too bad he's probably gonna die very soon. I don't know how he is still alive.
That's like just watching him on on Howard Stern highlights every once in a while. It's just like how
Mhm.
you just see him on like TMZ, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
how is he still here?
I don't know, because he's a very obese man with a coke and heroin problem, and so I don't know, like that combination.
Well, Chris
He should
Farley.
have. Yeah.
Like you knew it was coming with him too.
Oh yeah.
As sad as that was.
Yeah, that was too bad because I was watching like what was it? I was watching Wayne's World, which I like that movie, but like Chris Farley, like he's in it for
He's the bouncer, right?
yeah, he's in it for like two like 20-second scenes.
Yeah.
It is like he fucking steals the scene he's in.
Isn't he
Like, he was-
headbanging?
Oh yeah, or is that the second one?
That might be the second one.
No,
Yeah.
He was in both of them. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I was really kind of hoping? I knew we wouldn't be able to, but like the fact that we were going to talk at least a little bit about Hitler. I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish we could have got that in time for Valentine's Day.
I know, dude. That would have been great. Here's your Valentine's
Yeah.
Day podcast. Hitler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, I just went outside and like this fucking breeze. Jesus.
Sounds cold.
hmm Yeah, no, it's been actually the weekend was fucking awesome. It was like got up to like 52 on Sunday, and then Monday it like
Nope.
yeah, it seriously dropped by like 30 degrees and then started snowing.
Jesus.
Yeah, like cause I was staying at Jamie's mom's house, and like when I went over there during the daytime, and like I just had a sweater, and then the next morning when I left, like oh it was brutal.
Yeah. There should be like some sort of warning.
Mm-hmm.
Blow the siren or something if it drops below 15.
Yeah.
It's fucking cold, everyone.
Well, luckily climate change is a myth.
Yeah. It'll stay cold forever.
You know, like that was a, yeah. Yeah, because there was like record, I think there was like a few months ago, there was like record cold temperatures, like for that time of year or whatever. And then Donald Trump took that opportunity to show the world, like, if there was global warming. Yeah.
See, there was a cold day one time. There's no global warming.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny how retarded he is.
Well, you know what really, like, is extremely, like, fucked up and irritating is, like, when did the environment become, like, a strictly democratic issue?
Or science.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, in the 60s and 70s, like, there was a lot of, like, on both sides of the political spectrum, there was a lot of, like, you know, environmental issues that both sides, like, and then all of a sudden, that's just an issue that only Democrats care about, and then, like...
And you're a tree hugger.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad thing to want to protect the planet.
It is, yeah, and it is too. If you're a Republican, then you're like forced to not. I don't know. It's like so insane to me.
That's what's so crazy to me about the religious right in particular is they want you to have like fucking 17 kids and counting, but they don't want you to have a fucking planet for them to be on.
Yeah. First of all, the majority of people aren't farmers anymore, so that's not necessary.
Right. We can tone it down a little bit now.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah, the fact that I don't know, that just fucking, like, someone pointed that out, and I'm like, yeah, that is absolutely bonkers. Like, yeah, if you care about the environment, then you're a sissy Dem.
Right. What, you want to have clean air to breathe, you pussy?
Yeah. And like we've covered on a previous episode, it's not like how do you go if you're, because I'm guessing, like, you know, well, like anybody, the average voter is probably, you know, middle to lower class, especially Republicans, which is terribly ironic.
Right. They vote in people who make them more poor.
They do, yeah, that's the insane thing.
And they complain about Social Security and government handouts while they're taking them.
Oh, well, like, the thing is that anything bad that's going on right now, well, that was just Obama.
Right.
Trump's just trying to clean up his mess. Like, fuck you, fucking retard. Yeah, I said the R word. If you have a problem with that out there, you're a fucking R word.
Like... Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can't say that word anymore?
I know, because do you remember how, like, when we were in grade school, if you weren't gay, then you were a retard? Like, everything was either gay or retarded.
Right. That's true. Well, they fixed up one of them.
You know what I think the biggest casualty of, like, PC stuff going out of hand? I don't think you're allowed to call people wiggers anymore. And if there's one demographic that always needs to be made fun of, it's that.
Right.
Well, am I supposed to get mad at someone for saying the W word? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. People are crazy. People...
I don't know.
That's 100% needs to, like, never not be made fun of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I get it. Like, you know, there's the whole thing. If you grew up, if you had the type of childhood and life where that's how everybody around you talked and acted, then sure. But that's rarely the case.
Right.
Like, so many people that I know, like, that have had the exact same upbringing as me, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not saying like white kids in big cities. I'm saying like white kids in rural Oklahoma.
Yeah. Like, I could think of a couple of people. As much as I'd love to name names, not going to, but yeah, like, I don't know. They just, all they listen to is rap music, and I don't know, it's just weird how you fucking, I don't know. Now we're going completely off topic, even though we were never really on topic.
I was gonna say, do we have a topic today?
Well, yeah, I guess we do have a kind of a topic, which is, like we were saying earlier, we're kind of hoping we'd be able to get this out on Valentine's Day, because we did have arguably the most romantic topic, and that is, of course, Hitler.
Right. Just in time for
Hitler,
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Hitler and the Nazis. And, yeah, specifically, we were kind of talking. This was an interesting topic. We're both kind of researching, like, exactly, because there's a lot of speculation as to where Hitler and the Nazis stood religiously.
Right.
And, like, the problem with this is, like, with anything about Hitler, like, because he was so carefully guarded. Like, he guarded his thoughts and everything very carefully. And so, religion is no exception. Like, whether it's his feelings about his family or his sexuality, which, by the way, as a bonus, we'll definitely have to briefly cover his sexual preferences, because, oh boy, as you can imagine, they're not normal.
What?
Yeah, believe it or not.
I'm not buying
but,
it.
Like,
you best come with
yeah.
examples.
But yeah, this is kind of a tough topic because, like, very little is known about anything Hitler
Right.
believed. So it's kind of a tough thing to research.
There's a lot of times you'll be in, like, a debate with a religious person, and they'll bring up, Stalin was an atheist, Hitler was an atheist. But it's like, okay, well, let's just assume that's true. What does that prove? There's still been more death caused by religion than non-religion throughout history. But the fact that it's so crazy, the fact that there's not a real answer to me is, like, kind of just proof of, like, it doesn't really matter from that point of view.
His religion thing might kind of be one of the few things that actually is a little easier to research. Because, okay, so there were, like, Hitler and his buddies would...
his pals.
Yeah, his pals. Occasionally, like, they would meet up, they would have dinners, and kind of hang out. Friends? Yeah, Hitler and Friends. That's good. That sounds like a good Nick Jr. show.
Come on, Adolf. Why are you so unhappy today?
Nobody likes my paintings.
Hitler and Friends.
You know what? I will say, because like, as far as art goes, I really do like landscapes and stuff, and that was mostly what he did. He was actually not bad. I thought he was terrible. I thought he was a pretty good artist, because he made some, like, a couple of really gorgeous, like, German landscape paintings of, like, hills and mountains, and it was really awesome.
Yeah. It's how I de-stress.
Yeah. You fucking have a rough day, you kill a few million Jews, paint a picture.
Sounds right.
So I guess, yeah, they would have, like, these meetings, and they would just kind of have these bullshit sessions. And I guess a lot of them, or, like, at least enough of them, somebody tape recorded it, and the tapes didn't actually surface, I think, until, like, the 80s. And
wow.
Yeah, so some people, like, I don't know, whoever studies that, I don't know, but they
nerds.
Yeah, some nerds actually, like, I sat around and listened to them, and they verified that it was definitely Hitler and pals. Is that what we're gonna just call the Nazis from now on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Tiki
yeah,
torch bearers.
yeah. So like, and from what I was kind of reading about it, like, I think the most like frequent topic would be religion, and so that was actually the only, like, one of the very few instances where Hitler kind of expressed himself and he didn't control it, and then it ended up surfacing. And there's a lot of time, basically, from those tapes. That's like the only real source, the only credible source, I think. From those tapes, it's pretty much, you can pretty much conclude that he was a very staunch atheist.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, from what I was researching, because he was a smart guy.
Right.
Not as smart as, some current U.S. leaders, but,
Right.
smart.
I mean, who in the history has been as smart?
Well, the thing is, if you're a smart guy, no one's going to know unless you tell people.
Right. That's why he does it. He just wants to make
Yeah.
sure everyone knows.
Yeah. So,
Via Twitter.
yeah.
Because that's obviously where smart people are going to tell other smart people that they're smart.
Exactly. Forget a peer-reviewed study. Take it to Twitter. So yeah, like these tapes were pretty much the only, like I said, yeah, one of the only instances where Hitler actually spoke his mind, and because the one thing I couldn't confirm is, like, did he know he was being recorded? Like, I don't think so.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Because like in Mein Kampf, like his book,
Mm-hmm.
it's like nothing but how he's doing it for God and Jesus, and
Yeah.
that could that just be what he wanted? Like, if he were to be captured but not killed, is that what he wanted people to see?
I think so. I think most historians kind of agree that, like, everything basically, so he did a thing where he pretty much used religion as a political tool, sort of like, I don't know, every U.S. president ever.
Since the beginning of U.S.
Yeah. So there's nothing new there, but he knew, because there's a large, Germany was mostly Christian, specifically like Lutheran, which also helped him out a lot, because
right.
I don't know if you're too familiar with Martin Luther, but yeah, he's like a German guy or some shit, and he's the one that started the sect of Lutheranism,
Right.
and he was a raging anti-Semite.
Really?
And, yeah. So, oh god, he hated the fucking Jews, something fierce.
Something fierce.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, because Hitler already, like, we definitely know he hated the Jews. I don't think there's really any scientists debating that.
Right.
So, like, the fact that Lutheranism was a, Christian sect, and the fact that Martin Luther absolutely hated the Jews, like, that was a huge bonus for him.
Right.
Like, he was able to definitely use that. And so basically, from what I gathered, there was he was just an atheist. He believed, and I gotta say, it's kind of what I believe too, which is, like, he was quoted as saying that one day science will eliminate the need for religion. So, like,
right.
I think Hitler was more like, he was like, as far as a belief system, he believed that, I don't know, he wanted to use science to make his nation powerful.
Right.
And yeah. So basically, I think kind of the consensus is that he could give a shit less about religion. In fact, I think he hated just religion in general. But
Interesting.
since there was such a high Christian population, he knew that in order to get people on his side, he was gonna have to at least fake, being
Right.
a Christian, because he does in Mein Kampf and then in speeches he uses he references God and Jesus all the time
Yeah.
because he knew that he would have to, or I mean it's just it's really no different today. If you're running for president and you're anything but a Christian, even if you're an atheist, I mean, maybe less so lately than the last decade, but
Right.
go back in the mid '90s or something. If Bill Clinton would have said he was an atheist, no fucking chance. There's
Nope.
no way he would have got elected.
No, it's insane.
Yeah.
I think I've said this in a prior podcast, but there's 450 some members of Congress, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them is an out atheist.
Yeah.
That goes against every statistic out there. 1 in 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the low end, 10% of the population low end there should be at least 40.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and it's like that now. So you could imagine back in
Right.
the 20s and 30s,
Right, 20s and 30s Germany.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would have been political suicide to just. So what he kind of did was it was interesting. So publicly he embraced Christianity, and then once he got once he kind of gained power, he slowly I think his plan was to slowly eliminate Christianity. So once he got in power, he'd be well, I don't know, publicly, as far as anyone thought, he was a Christian. So then what he would do is he slowly started to be oh, well, this specific, I'm just making stuff up, but the Polish Orthodox Church, they're no good. So he would kind of
just start chiseling away.
Yeah, he kind of slowly attempted to chisel away. And
That's interesting.
yeah, it's also interesting to note that he was raised Roman Catholic, and his parents were very strict. So and little is known about his father except that he was a horrible, horrible, abusive piece of shit. So I think that might have even had a lot to do with his disdain for religion, because
Very possible.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I mean, we really, in my opinion, for the sake of the debate, whether he was good or bad because he was atheist or not, I don't think it really mattered.
Oh no.
He didn't kill all the Jews he could because he was an atheist.
Right.
He was more fucked up in the head and wanted to control the world.
Yeah, the whole the whole as for reasons why he was an anti-Semite, I looked a little bit into that. I really didn't find any satisfying answers, or really any answers at all.
Yeah.
But another thing people don't realize is that at that time and place in Europe, anti-Semitism was the norm.
Similar to anti-Spanish.
Yeah, or anti-Muslim.
Right.
But even worse back then.
Right.
Your average person just hated the Jews just because it's a weird thing to think about.
Right.
Because I feel like most Americans aren't really we'll say at least half, to be generous or whatever. Half to most Americans probably aren't anti-Muslim or anti-Hispanic. But
maybe 60-40.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're probably right, unfortunately, but But imagine if like 90% of the entire population just openly despised Muslims or Hispanics. Like that's what it was like in Europe at that time.
Jesus. So yeah, use religion for your benefit.
Yep, and I mean essentially like that is what he did. And I mentioned this to you, but I was researching it and I couldn't really find anything, but I think it was in one of those tapes that I was talking about where he had made a comment to somebody where he was talking about how he should have focused a lot on using Islam because he said that Muslims are easy to radicalize. I just thought that was a really interesting thing.
That is interesting.
Because, I mean, they already had started to set their sights on the Middle East. And
Right.
probably, had they have known how oil rich it was at the time, they probably would have went there
Started there.
first. Yeah.
It's kind of amazing they didn't really.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know when like their big oil boom was, or like when people worldwide really started to notice, but I would have to imagine that if he knew, if they would have known then, he probably would have started there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, it would have been a whole lot of free assets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who knows how that would have affected the war or changed, Talk about butterfly effect.
Yeah, like that really could have turned the tables, I guess. So yeah, there was that. I was trying to think of anything else to expand upon that. I guess like yeah, that kind of like that was actually probably if you want to like really try and know about Hitler. That was just because of those tapes, that was a surprisingly easy conclusion to get to.
Right.
Was that he was a staunch atheist, and yeah, he was just using religion, which makes complete sense to me.
And that just in my opinion, just shows how, I don't know, like Christopher Hitchens' "Religion Poisons Everything" was his book. Like it fits the category again,
Yeah, yeah.
Like even if he wasn't a Christian, he used religion to do what he did. Like
it's just like he was, he was a smart politician. Like he was good. He was good at pandering, and that is exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yep. Seems a little familiar.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
That's what I made a few tweets about it in the last couple of weeks. Like, I really expect Trump to do the same thing soon. Like right before the 2018 elections, like the midterms.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if the next couple months is nothing but religion and God, America, God, America, God, America. So that's going to be our first break point. We still have 2 more episodes, like I mentioned earlier. I want to thank everyone once again for listening. I really do appreciate the support. If you're enjoying the podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes. Also, you can, share it out. Let your friends hear it if you're enjoying it. Spread the love, man, you got to check out these 2 dipshits on this podcast. We'll be back probably in a few days. I'm going to release these a little bit closer together than we have been. So, if you're hearing this now, there's probably an episode 2 right behind it, and episode 3 will probably get out to you next week sometime. Thanks again so much, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you for part 2 very soon.